You have
be
to give up.
holding.
When you go with other people, you have to give up. You have to give up to to something that you need to definitely you need to say that I'm in exile. I'm going through the motion on this Seder. I'm going into second Seder. This is why second Seder was sort of invented, not invented, but offered to us. So when you go to, if you go to a family Seder or whatever, which has to do with maintaining and not going into blood food with your family, with your mothers, fathers, siblings, or whatever, you give it up. You are not going into a spiritual assembly. You're not going into work. It's it's going to be almost the opposite. Okay, it's going to be exactly what I described. Sort of a full-fledged will to receive to oneself. Okay, nothing to do with, because no one understands actually the text that they're reading. Okay, it's a complex. It's actually a puzzle of so many things that you have to have such deep spiritual knowledge to actually know that it's a puzzle. Okay, and what happens in it. So this is something else. So you can do before with yourself, or you can do a second with people that, if you want, with people of an actual mind. I know that here they're doing second Seder, so you can decide to do among yourself, listen to the preparation lesson from this year, from other years, and read some, and sort of look at the, at this um, seven sfirot that are laid on the table, and their meaning, and maybe at least ask for something else. But going into a family reunion of it's nothing to do with the Seder. It's nothing to do with Pesach, but you're doing it. Um, but don't expect that even if you say something of value and people will say, well, that's very interesting, it will be swollen with the next soup. Okay? So nothing will happen. Okay? It will be
Right. And
taken and it will be used as, as a good story somewhere else. So I suggest to be aware of it and not to expect to have any work within the Seder that you're doing outside. So, or you can do it with yourself and your partner, or you can ask some people from, which is called second Seder, and make it a study, a meal together, something that is sharing the study. But you need to differentiate.
yeah, thank you. Thank you, Rabbah.
Yeah.
And the difference between faith and reason, what is the consciousness of the ecology of the discovery of one's relationship with faith from reason? Like, how does
Mm.
that process
Well,
change the
it has,
spirit?
because what I'm saying, for example, is that what is my need and longing, which which comes out of the, let's say, the perception of my limitation is within reason.
Mhm.
I cannot perceive limitation unless it is within my reason. Therefore, within the reason, I perceive the limitation, and therefore I'm asking to be able to elevate myself above it. Then, if I elevate myself above it and I understand something, this is understanding my new limitation. So it becomes reason. What was faith yesterday becomes reason of today, the reason of today. Yeah,
Mhm.
it becomes something that now, as a long view, I cannot trust what I know, but I can trust something else. I can trust the belief in faith. It means that I see that every time that within my reason I reach the understanding of my limitation and wished and asked and begged and longed for help in order to overcome it, something came to my help. And that I know. So this is faith within reason. I accumulated the experience that allow me to trust faith as an agent of evolution, as an agent of connection to the higher. This is the only knowledge that I can actually discern and sort of get out of my study. Is it clear?
Yes, yes, yes. It's clear, but it's also clear the difference of being in the study in community with the guidelines and living in the consciousness of relationships that don't live by the awareness of the guidelines.
Absolutely. You cannot do it without the guidelines. You cannot do it without a communion or community of intention. And why we have the guidelines and why we read them, it's at least, even if we agree on the gap, usually we can agree on the gap
Right,
between
right.
us and and the guide and what the guidelines suggest. But then we have a community of intention of overcoming the gap. But if there is no common purpose that is being that we don't ring it, and that within the gathering, actually we are not able to create a screen, and therefore you cannot work unless you actually create that kind of a screen or that kind of an ecology. Yeah.
And then what I live with every day is the awareness of the guidelines and the awareness of how difficult it is to live
You
on this planet
yeah.
right now in the guidelines. And so there's this
No,
constant awareness of how to be with the guidelines outside of the study.
but you can't. You can't be with the guidelines outside the study because the guidelines is being supported by common by the community of intention. You can remember the guidelines outside and the fact that you long to come to a community of intention, meaning more people that will see it as the purpose, then it can be activated. Outside of it, you cannot activate it. You can remember it as a memory or a force that will pull you back into the community of study. But
Okay,
you
thank
cannot
you.
activate it outside.
No, no, I know. And then that's
Okay.
living with the lack of activation and the truth of the separation.
Yeah, and that's existence, and therefore you sort of try to order your existence in such a way that you'll be as much as you can in contact with the option of screen, with the option of intention, or with the giving option or an opportunity or a space for your spirit, because it cannot live breathe outside.